This is the Time Traveler's Guide to History with your host, Victor Rodriguez. Tonight we have special guests Henry Ford, Babe Ruth, Attorney General Mitchell Palmer, and President Calvin Coolidge. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Time Traveler's Guide to History. If you're not familiar with this show, what we do is we travel back in time and bring back some of history's most important people. It's really cool. We get to ask them different questions and really get to know them. Well, today's show sounds like it's going to be really good. It's our Roaring 20s edition. So let's go ahead and get on with this show, and we'll bring in our first guest. He is the father of the auto industry, a man who made a huge impact on the United States, not only technologically, but also economically and even culturally. Let's welcome in Mr. Henry Ford. Wow. So yeah, this is the. How was your trip here? Did you enjoy it?
It's good. It was nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought so. So welcome. We're so glad that you can make it. As we all know, you started the Ford Motor Company in 1903, and from there, your company really took off. And some of y'all's greatest moments happened in the 20s. That's why y'all were so important back then. Can you tell us a little bit about what your company was able to achieve during that time?
Well, one of our most notable inventions, what I'm famous for, was definitely our Model T. This revolutionized transportation. Before that, only the very rich had cars, but now anyone could buy a car. They were cheap, affordable, and really changed the way people lived. No more horses.
Mm-hmm. No more horses, yeah.
Pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It was really great to see the kind of legacy that I left. And,
I can definitely see how that happened. So that's really, really interesting. How do you think you affected the 1920s, like industrial-wise?
Well, definitely the big way would be the assembly line, okay? And, now I understand lots of companies in your time use the
You were
assembly
first,
line.
but after y'all did it, it seems like everybody adopted it and it became the most popular thing to do.
Well, basically, if you want, I'll explain it really quick.
Yeah,
the way
please.
this works is you have a line, conveyor belt, and each worker will specialize in a specific part of assembly, and they become very good, very quick, and produce a lot more units in the same amount of time. It saves us a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
We pass those savings on to the consumers.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm so glad you're here to tell us that. Wow, it's been really great getting to hear all of this from you. You're the pioneer of the auto industry. We wouldn't have what we have today without you.
Thank you.
It's a real honor. And on your way out, be sure to take a test ride in one of those new Ford Mustangs.
All right.
I don't think you ever saw that coming, but
No.
it's not a horse. So just letting you know,
Not a
it's not a horse,
All
despite
right.
the name.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no
Victor.
problem. Have a great day. If you're a sports fan, then you should know our next guest for sure. He has withstood the test of time. He was one of the most popular athletes of his time, making a long-lasting impact on the cultures of Americans during the 20s. And his story is still told today. So let's welcome in Mr. Babe Ruth. Yeah, hi. Wow, Babe Ruth, I never thought I'd see you in person. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah. So tell me, Mr. Ruth, how does it make you feel, as a baseball player playing the 20s when right now the sport is as popular as it's ever been and it's attracting huge audiences? How does that make you feel?
It's exciting seeing all the people showing up to the games, having good time supporting the team. Now that people are having more money in their pockets and a lot more time off their work days, they can spend a whole lot more time supporting our team.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And so there's a lot of really exciting things going on during the 20s. How do you feel about some of the other things? I know you have the Harlem Renaissance going on, and there's the flappers that are becoming really popular. How does that translate?
It's an exciting time to be alive, to say the least. The sounds of the Harlem Renaissance bring a whole new type of feeling to the people at the streets, and the guys in the locker room talk about the music and a lot of the flappers a lot too.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing some important changes to the way people get to have fun and enjoy themselves. Something we didn't see much before.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And man, one of these days I'll go back and I'll get to go see a baseball game in Yankee Stadium during the 20s. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're a true legend, Mr. Babe Ruth. Thank you so much. All right, have a good day. Thank you very much. All right, our next guest, he was the U.S. Attorney General. And what he did is he arrested Americans who were accused of being communists during the Red Scare and had raids called the Palmer Raids. So he played a very important part in the United States, both foreign and domestic policy throughout the 1920s. So let's welcome in Attorney General Mr. Mitchell Palmer. Yeah, how's it going? Wow, it's so cool to meet you. You're one of my idols growing up, believe it or not. Yeah. So tell me, Mr. Palmer, how important was taking care of the Red Scare for you? Do you think it could have gotten more out of hand if you hadn't stepped in and done your part?
Well, in the early 1920s, we saw a great deal of social conflict there. There were strikes, the passage of prohibition and women's suffrage, and the Chicago race riot. It was a busy time for me, so the Red Scare gained more and more attention in the States. I knew action had to be made, and that's why I enacted the Palmer Raids, and they went into effect, and they were very important for us to capture, arrest, and deport anyone who was suspected of bringing communism into America. It was the last thing we needed at the time.
I definitely see what you mean. That sounds like a really scary time. That could have gotten way out of hand. Wow. So your actions, it seems like they really helped prevent what could have been a terrible attack on America by communists. Wow. So thank you very much, Mr. Palmer. You did America a true service. You're a hero.
Thank you,
You'll be remembered forever. You're very busy, so I'll let you get back. Bye, Mr. Palmer. Okay, so it looks like we definitely saved the best for last. It's a true honor to welcome in our next guest. He was the 30th President of the United States. He is Mr. President Calvin Coolidge. Let's welcome him in. Hi, Mr. President. Oh, wow, I should stand for you. Wow, it's such an honor. This might be like my biggest interview ever. I have interviewed Abraham Lincoln, but you're a pretty big deal too. So, as we all know, you assumed office in 1923 after the untimely death of President Harding. You were his vice president. So, I can only imagine what a challenge it must have been, for you to take over and lead a nation after a huge tragedy like that. But, however, you're still remembered as a pretty popular president. You did some really important things, and one of your biggest, most remembered things now, because you don't know, because that barely happened for you, but it's been around for a long time for us, is how you raised tariffs on imported goods, and that was a pretty strong move you made. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, in the 1920s, the most disconcerting economic issue was declining farm profits. The emergency tariff we implemented increased rates on wheat, sugar, meat, wool, and other agricultural products bought in the United States from foreign nations, which provided protection from domestic producers of those items. That's what we felt was most important at the time.
It does sound like something that was really important, and I can agree with you there. That was a bold move for a president coming into office under the terms that you did, and I think it really set the terms for the rest of your presidency. So yeah, I think you're a good president, even if that was the only thing you've done. And I know you've done more, and you don't even know what you've done, but I know things that you're gonna do because you're in the future. So this is really exciting for me. Maybe not so exciting for you yet. But yeah. Oh, and before you make your way back, we just got a call from the White House, so they need you there. Oh, that's them calling right now.
Will the following teachers please report to the AP office? Anna Smith,
Calvin Coolidge.
Miriam Ramirez,
Oh, and Babe Ruth.
Paul Reiser,
Oh,
Coach Bruce,
those are our next guests.
Mr. Rosas, and Miss Milton.
Oh,
And Mr. President.
and Mr. President.
There it is.
Wow. So I guess that's your cue to leave then. Thank you so much for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
Have a great day. Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
So wow, I guess that's all the time that we have today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Next week. We're going to be here next week, same time, same place, for our Dinosaur Extravaganza episode. All right, thank you. Bye. Yeah, look, cell phone. Cell phone. You make calls on it. picture. Smile for a picture.